En-Mao's Raw review of the 6th of April 2015. Hi everyone and welcome to this week's Raw review. Tonight's Raw comes to us from the University of Texas, and this week I'm expecting several matches for the next pay-per-view Extreme Rules to be made tonight. We already know one match which was created on SmackDown this past Thursday, and it was John Cena versus Rusev for the US title. So the fireworks go off as usual at the start of Raw, and we are welcomed to the programme by Byron Saxton, who is joined by JBL and Booker T on commentary. On SmackDown, they also said that Michael Cole might be here tonight as well. This is obviously not the case. Anyway, the show starts, and first up there's a recap of what happened at WrestleMania in Triple H's match. They then tell everyone how Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank contract and won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Rollins' music is playing in the stadium, and he is standing in the middle of the ring surrounded by J&J security, Kane and The Big Show. I'm guessing Raw is going to start exactly the same way that SmackDown did. Boos echo around the stadium, and the arrogant champion tries to address the crowd but gets booed. Big Show interferes and he gets booed. The champ tells the Big Show not to worry, this is all due to jealousy of Seth Rollins. He then says Stephanie and Triple H are not there tonight at Raw, and apparently they're on vacation. WrestleMania 31 was the biggest, most watched WrestleMania ever, and this was all to do with him becoming the champion. Seth then goes on to say that the Authority created moments all night long on the show of WrestleMania, and that is apparently what they are best for doing. He says Triple H single-handedly beat Sting. Oh, the irony. And then he goes on about how Big Show won the Andre the Giant Memorial, although this wasn't even on the pay-per-view. And then Rollins refers to Kane. Kane wasn't in a match at WrestleMania. He was there though. Big Show takes the mic and basically kisses Seth Rollins' ass. He bigs him up and just about to get booed when Rollins refers to himself once again as the greatest champion of all time. Seth then continues taking the piss out of Kane's general attendance at WrestleMania. You can quite clearly see that this is beginning to annoy Kane, and you can already see fractions forming within the stable. Kane tries to justify his actions and the reason why he wasn't in the match when Randy Orton music hits. SmackDown deja vu, anyone? Randy congratulates Seth on his WrestleMania moment and then goes on to tell everyone about how he won their match. Randy wants his title shot and says it would be best for business, and then puts the question to the Director of Operations, Kane. Kane thinks about this for a few moments and then says he's heard enough. He says Randy should show some respect, and there are other people who deserve a title shot as well. Kane then says tonight there will be a triple threat match to determine the number one contender, who will then get to face Seth Rollins at the next pay-per-view, Extreme Rules. Kane says that the participants in this match will be the same three that were a tag team last week who took on the Authority on Raw. They are Roman Reigns, Ryback and Randy Orton. Rollins isn't happy about this, but Kane tells him that's what's best for business. Kane also says furthermore each of them will also compete in singles competition beforehand tonight. This makes me wonder if there is a problem with the Raw roster. They have plenty of superstars, but why are they only carding 3 of them constantly? Anyway, Randy's match is next, and it's against Kane. Rollins and the Authority question Kane's logic and leave the ring. Randy makes his way down to the squared circle. The match gets underway, and Orton wastes no time in laying into Kane. Orton takes Kane on in a corner, and an uppercut from hell knocks Randy from the ring to the outside. After the commercial, Randy is getting a beat down from Kane inside the ring. This continues for quite a while. Plenty of power moves by Kane until he tries to hit a choke slam. Randy then counters it into the power slam, and now Randy is building up for his finisher. A dropkick sends Kane to the ring apron, and as he's getting to his feet and getting back in the ring, Randy hits the rope-assisted DDT. Time for an RKO, but Kane escapes the ring before he can do it. Kane blindly wanders around outside the ring and blindly walks into a massive clothesline from Orton. Kane grabs a chair and hits Orton in the stomach, effectively ending the match. Randy wins this one via disqualification. Kane throws a chair into the ring and then picks up and tosses Randy Orton in after it. Kane follows him into the ring and sets him up for a choke slam onto the chair. Before he carries it off though, Randy reverses it into an RKO. Kane is too quick and pushes Randy off. He escapes up the entrance ramp while staring at the chair-waving Randy Orton as he exits the arena. The commentators state that Randy is now damaged goods for the triple threat later tonight. They then inform of the other matches later on tonight, starting with Ryback versus Luke Harper, and Roman Reigns is going to take on the Big Show. After the break, Byron Saxton thanks the WWE Universe for making Raw and SmackDown both #1 shows on their networks on their retrospective nights. Next, he starts talking about something I touched upon on my SmackDown video, about the retirement from in-ring action by WWE diva AJ Lee. Considering her age, I would doubt it's due to a long-term injury. Maybe it's something to do with her husband, CM Punk, not wanting to go on WWE programming anymore. Or maybe it might be something different. If I can remember, when Awesome Kong retired from the women's competition, it was due to her being pregnant. Anyway, the commentators show a tweet that she sent. Break the rules, be a fighter, any dream is possible. If you're brave enough to do it your way. Thank you all. And then they wish her all the best. You can too at #ThankYouAJ. Anyway, Kane is in his office, and so is Brad Maddox, who is recapping and criticising Kane's match that he just had with Orton. Kane asks him, "Who do you think you are?" Seth Rollins then pushes Kane in the chest and asks him, "Who does he think he is?" Rollins says Kane doesn't pull his weight in the authority. Kane justifies his role, saying that the only reason Seth won Money in the Bank was because of him, and then says that the only reason that Seth is a champion is because of him. Kane says that as the director of operations, it's up to him to do what's best for business, and says that Rollins needs to defend his title at Extreme Rules. Rollins seems to want to be the champion, but without having to defend the belt. Kane then says a viable opponent at the next pay-per-view is good for business, regardless. Kane then says that Randy Orton might be right and Seth Rollins is actually scared of him. Rollins says that he's scared of no one and thinks that Kane stepping down as director of operations would be even better for this business. He says that he thinks even Triple H and Stephanie would agree with him. Kane reminds Rollins that they're on a private island in the Pacific with no contact with the outside world apparently, so he's running things tonight whether Seth likes it or not. Rollins says that when they get back, Kane will have a lot to answer for. Kane says that Rollins' attitude is disrespectful, and because of that, Kane's putting him in a match tonight, and it's on next. Rollins is definitely upset about this. So Rollins makes his way to the ring, and he's going to be in singles competition next against an unknown opponent. While this happens, the commentators give their views about what happened on last week's Raw regarding Brock Lesnar. JBL tells everyone that he had abdominal surgery, and Booker T believes that Brock should have been fired for his actions. Next, they show a recap of Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania 31 match against Roman Reigns and how Seth Rollins won after hitting a curb stomp and a pin on the challenger Roman Reigns. Footage then shows last Monday night's Raw of what happened on it regarding the Beast. You can see my review of Raw from last week if you want to see more about that. So after the VT, Rollins makes his way to the ring and the Raw goes to a commercial. Upon return, Rollins and J&J Security are in the ring waiting for their opponent. Rollins is complaining about he should never be put in this situation, although it's his job. Anyway, the music hits and it's for the NXT previous champion Neville, the guy who made his debut on Raw last week. Now hold on a second. Right, in my review of Raw last week, I said that Neville's match against Curtis Axel was awesome and it would be great if he started up a feud with another high-flying superstar. Now just for a couple of weeks, just to allow him to get used to Raw from NXT. Now WWE are putting him straight up against the WWE champion. I don't get this because the WWE champion already has a target on him from Brock Lesnar, from Randy Orton, from Ryback, and now from Roman Reigns. Well, in my opinion, it can go one of two ways. It will either propel Neville, and if he gets the win against Rollins, then within a week of Raw he has defeated the top guy in the company, and it will prove what a weak champion Rollins really is. Or it will go the other way and basically squash, humiliate and ruin Neville as soon as he joins the Raw roster. Either way, a lot of pressure is being put on the rookie to perform and give a good match. So the man who gravity forgot is now on the way to the ring, and Seth Rollins starts belittling the NXT rookie. Neville's reply to this is a roundhouse kick straight to the stomach, and it puts Rollins straight on his ass. The name Neville doesn't strike fear in my opinion. Usually someone with the name Neville is dishing out Werther's originals to care home staff. Anyway, the bell rings and the match is underway. Some nice technical throws by Neville start the match well. Neville takes it to the champ pretty quick, but a running knee by Rollins to the face stops this. Rollins now starts putting the hurt on the rookie. Corner stomps, chest slaps and punches ring out in the arena. Neville starts a comeback, and this guy's agility is phenomenal. He springs around the mat like a slinky spring, and then he hits a quality aerial hurricanrana. He then suicide dives over the top rope, and after hitting Rollins he lands on his feet. Damn, this guy has got the agility of a cat. J&J Security try to attack, but Neville escapes into the ring and begs Rollins and J&J Security to enter. The adrenaline must be rushing through his veins. After the commercial, Rollins is now back in control of the match and in the ring, and once again is dishing out the hurt to Neville. The crowd get behind Neville for a short-lived comeback. A few moves later, and Seth Rollins hits a curb stomp and gets the pin. So after this match that he had last week and showing off his skills against Curtis Axel, which was awesome, WWE have buried him with a poor match this week. Oh well. Sometimes I don't understand WWE writers, but usually they come good in the end. I doubt Rollins needs someone else hunting him down though, as well as Lesnar, Ryback, Orton and Reigns, and now Neville. We are reminded once again of the main event tonight, and Ryback, Reigns and Orton in a triple threat match for #1 contender at Extreme Rules. We are then told Cena is putting up the US title on the line again tonight, even though Rusev has invoked his rematch clause for a US title match at Extreme Rules. This makes no sense and kind of makes the next Cena match irrelevant, because it's obvious now that Cena will win every match up until the Extreme Rules. The next match though is for the US title, and Cena makes his way to the ring for his open challenge. Surely it would have been better to leave it until the week before the pay-per-view to invoke the rematch clause from Rusev. That way there's always the chance that Cena could lose one of these open challenges. The crowd starts singing John Cena sucks, and he's head to toe in his new merchandise. Cena grabs a mic and starts doing the usual crowd boost that he does. The crowd boo heavily. Then patriotic propaganda Cena kicks in again and is talking about opportunity and the opportunity that he gives and the opportunity that America brings to people. Cena boosts the crowd, saying that he's having a championship match tonight and that no one is going to take the belt from him. If you want some, come and get some. Stardust music hits and he makes his way to the ring. This is laughable. Cody Rhodes, or Stardust, or whatever he wants to be called, has no chance in this match. These matches up until Extreme Rules will just be squash matches and stroke Cena's ego. The power of Cena is no match for Stardust, and it's just a squash match. Cody makes a comeback and is stopped straight in his tracks. Cena gets Cody up for an attitude adjustment. Cody kicks out and hits a massive move from the top rope and stuns Cena. Within a few minutes though, Cena is back in control, and still until Cody then hits an Alabama slammer and goes for the pin. Cena kicks out. Both men are stunned. Stardust is the first to his feet and starts showboating to Cena from behind. Cena gets to his feet and Cody goes for the crossroads. Cena counters this into a power slam and he goes for the pin, but this time Cody kicks out. The backwards and forwards match continues. Then Cena gets into control again, and he's about to hit the 5-knuckle shuffle when Cody blocks it and hits Cena with a devastating DDT. Cody tries to go for the pin, but Cena kicks out. Cody goes to the top rope and it's a moonsault. Cena catches him and both men are down. Stardust gets up first and goes to attack Cena. Cena counters it into an STFU. Cody grabs the ropes and Cody gets up and this time hits Cena with a crossroads. He goes for the pin, but Super Cena kicks out. Stardust complains to the ref about the slow count. I don't actually think it was a slow count, but he's complaining anyway. Cena comes back and does his new move, the modified Stone Cold Stunner from the second rope, and then a stunned Cody Rhodes walks straight into an attitude adjustment. Super Cena gets a pin and he's still the WWE US Champion. Cross off your opportunity, Cody or Stardust. You lost. Although I scoffed at the start of this match, it was actually a better match than I think the match against Rusev at Extreme Rules will be. I guess we will have to just wait and see. Also, the commentators were talking throughout the match about what if Cena loses in the run-up to Extreme Rules. I guess we will wait and see also what happens to that. Regardless, Super Cena is still the champ. Next match is up now, and it's the Bella Twins making their way to the ring. This is the weekly Raw Divas match. It's tag team action against Paige, and who will be a partner now that AJ is retired. Oh, look at that, it's Naomi, the woman who thinks that she will be the next WWE Divas champion. Personally, I think there are better divas who should be champion, i.e. Natalya for one. She's a much better female wrestler than Naomi. So, Paige and Nikki Bella start off the match. Paige is by far the best female wrestler in my opinion, but she gets thrown out of the ring by Nikki when she's taunting Brie. After a 7 count, Paige gets back in and starts getting beat down by Nikki. Nikki dominates till Brie tags herself in. After a double suplex, Paige now has to fight out of her leg scissors. Nikki goes for a flying forearm and misses Paige and tries to tag in Naomi. Paige gets a tag and Naomi starts attacking Nikki. She's very dominant and she tries to get the pin on Nikki until she kicks out. Naomi then hits the head scissors DDT. What is it with DDTs tonight on Raw? And Nikki is hurt. That move gets the win for Paige and Naomi, who is now on a roll. Maybe she will be the next Divas champion, but 2 wins in a row doesn't mean that you're championship material. Primetime Players now cut another poor promo taunting New Day and then the Ascension. I don't get why they're taunting a good and a bad tag team. Personally, I didn't miss the Primetime Players when they split up before, and I doubt I'd miss them if they even disappeared off the roster altogether. Anyway, it's time for the next match, and it's Ryback versus Luke Harper. I expect this to be a slow-paced strength fest. Luke Harper makes his way to the ring first, and there's a recap of what Luke Harper did at WrestleMania and last week on SmackDown to Dean Ambrose. Apparently that's why Dean Ambrose isn't there tonight. Next to the ring is Ryback, who comes out to a pretty silent crowd. As I predicted, it's all about strength and power, and 2 large brutes throwing each other around. After 5 minutes of this, Ryback hits a shell shock and the match is over. I get the feeling that people aren't bothered about Ryback. I don't understand this though. All he needs are a few better moves and a little bit more ability, and then he should be able to have a championship push. But he's had the championship push before. Did he not learn from this last time? New Day now cut a promo about their clapping phase. I don't get whether they are trying to be baby faces or heels. I'm sensing from the promo that a heel turn is on the cards. Next up is the New Day against a team they joined last week, the Lucha Dragons. Maybe the heel turn is tonight. Big E starts and dominates against Sin Cara. Xavier Woods continues the onslaught. New Day managed to keep Sin Cara in their corner for a while, until he manages to escape and then tags in his partner Kalisto. This guy is amazing and he starts flying around the ring. Big E comes to Xavier's aid though and throws Kalisto out the ring when he goes for the pin. After this, Big E goes for Sin Cara, who ducks and pulls down the top rope. Big E goes over and out of the ring. Kofi kicks Kalisto and then Xavier goes for the pin. Several high-flying moves later and a swanton bomb by Sin Cara on Xavier Woods, and the Lucha Dragons pick up their second win in a row in 2 weeks. Backstage, the tag team champions Cesaro and Kid are discussing with Natalya what they've just seen. Should they be worried? I think they should, because the Lucha Dragons are tag team championship material. So this Raw doesn't seem to be a memorable one so far, unlike last week's. Although, saying that, we had WrestleMania on the back of it. No Raws though, compared to when Austin was fighting Vince in the WWE Attitude Era. So what were your favourite Raw moments ever? Leave a message in the comments of this video. Next match, and Roman Reigns makes his way through the crowd to the ring. I would imagine he's pretty pissed going from number 1 at WrestleMania down to like number 2 or now even number 3. We will see at the end of the triple threat match. Big Show makes his way to the ring and they continue about how he just won the Battle Royale at WrestleMania. I just don't get this. If they wanted it to be memorial, They should have put it on the pay-per-view. So the bell rings and it's a slugfest. Punches fly from everywhere and both competitors start laying into each other. Big Show takes the early advantage and just throws Reigns around like Brock did at WrestleMania. Big Show then continues to dominate the match, and Roman isn't going to be in a good way for the triple threat match if it continues like this. What I don't get is why Roman Reigns is now just becoming a ragdoll in every single match. It was good the first time, it was good the second time, but now every single match he's turning into a ragdoll. I just don't get it. Anyway, after a 5-minute beating, he must have heard what I said about being a ragdoll, because he comes back with 3 Superman punches and a spear. And that's it, the 1, 2, 3 defeats the Big Show. I still don't think, though, Reigns is ready to be the champion yet. Raw then cuts to Kane on the phone and he hangs up. The Divas surround him, giving him compliments, and it plays out that they want a Divas Battle Royale for the #1 contender in the Divas division. Kane makes the match for next week. Oh great, I can't wait for that. And the winner will face Nikki Bella at Extreme Rules for the title. Whoopie-doo. Sheamus is walking around backstage and he's coming to the ring to explain why he did what he did to Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler last week after their match. The crowd shout, "You look stupid," and Sheamus rants about underdogs not belonging in the WWE. It's pretty much the same rant that he had on SmackDown, so if you want to see my SmackDown review, go and watch that. Just as he finishes his rant, Mark Henry's music hits and Sheamus won't be fighting a small guy tonight. Mark Henry is happy to oblige to his challenge. Sheamus walks out of the ring taunting Mark Henry. The bell rings and Mark Henry dominates from the start. Sheamus is now becoming more of a bullying character. Eventually, Sheamus takes the strength and power advantage, and then he hits the bro kick on Mark Henry and it's game over. If I was Dolph Ziggler, I wouldn't want to come back to work with a Sheamus target on my back. Anyway, we now have another WrestleMania recap with The Rock, Stephanie and Ronda Rousey. You can see all this on my WrestleMania review. We find out that next week's main event on SmackDown is Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler against Sheamus and Bad News Barrett. This is a match that it should have been last week, but Ziggler was injured. Hopefully this week he'll be back and we'll be able to see the match. Bray Wyatt cuts a promo about dedication and the forces of nature, and the biggest force of nature itself, fear. God knows who he's referring to this week, and I'm sure we'll find out who his next opponent at the pay-per-view will be over the coming weeks. Next up is Ryback cutting a promo about how tonight is one of his biggest opportunities in his life. I'm sure that he will be better going against Cena in the Open Invitation Championship for that title rather than going for the World Heavyweight Championship. The big man is focused on tonight becoming the #1 contender. The next match is The Miz versus Sandow. Let's hope this match is longer than the one the other day, which was shorter than the intro for both the superstars. I was kind of hoping that they were going to leave this match until Extreme Rules. I guess tonight is a preview of what's going to come, as it's setting up to be a pretty decent feud. Anyway, a recap of Mizdow throwing out The Miz from the Battle Royale at WrestleMania 31 is shown, and then The Miz's music hits again for Damian Mizdow to make his way to the ring with. Both competitors do the same intro, and the match starts and they're both wearing sunglasses until The Miz gets his knocked off. Sandow dominates and finally takes his glasses off. Several corner kicks later and The Miz takes over the match again. The match goes backwards and forwards, it's nothing special, and both competitors show that they've got a decent competitive edge. Although the match is pretty good, you can't help but feel the copying of superstars has been done so many times before in WWE. And then eventually, with a handful of tights, The Miz gets the win over Damian Sandow. I can't help but feel that this is not the end of this feud, but is it going to be the same sort of thing that we've seen so many times before? Randy Orton now is standing backstage speaking with Renee Young, and he says that he will win tonight in his interview. He then also says that he will beat Seth Rollins next and he will take his title, but it starts with winning the triple threat match tonight, and that match is next. Raw returns after the break and Reigns is on his way to the ring. Orton and Ryback are already in the ring waiting. The match starts and everyone tries to get the upper hand. Within seconds, Reigns is scooped up onto Ryback's shoulders for the first shell shock. Randy saves him though, and the fight continues. Ryback goes for several pin attempts, but no one is ready to be pinned yet. Orton is thrown out of the ring, and Ryback and Reigns go at it for a while in the ring. Attention is then drawn to the Authority taking shape on the entrance ramp. Ryback sets up for a spear on Reigns, but Orton jumps back into the ring and power slams a charging Ryback. He then power slams Reigns as well. Randy tries to do the rope DDT on Ryback, but before he can, Reigns clocks him on the back of the head with a massive fist. Reigns and Ryback duke it out, and Randy tries a sneaky pin on Reigns. He gets a Superman punch to the jaw just for his troubles. Ryback hits a spinebuster on Reigns and then showboats for way too long. Reigns gets up and then Ryback slams him back down. He's ready for the finisher and he doesn't notice Randy Orton, the Apex Predator, standing behind him. RKO at the ready. Randy tries to hit his finisher, but Ryback pushes him off and he hits a spinebuster. He gets Randy up for a shell shock, but Randy slides off just as Reigns hits a spear on Ryback. All three men are down and the Authority start making their way to the ring. This doesn't look good for three of them. They go to attack Ryback, who is out of the ring. Next thing, Roman Reigns hits a suicide dive over the top rope and takes down all of the Authority in one go. Reigns gets his hands on Rollins and finally he's about to start laying the hurt down, but the Big Show saves with a giant punch to the jaw. The Big Show hits him a second time on the ramp and knocks him clean out. Orton grabs Rollins and pulls him into the ring to finally get his hands on the champ, and Rollins manages to kick out and escape. Orton tries to get him in the rope-assisted DDT, but J&J Security come in with the save. Ryback gets back in the ring and helps Randy clear out J&J Security. Just as he does, Orton gets up and smashes an RKO on Ryback. Orton gets a 3 count and steps into the #1 contender spot at Extreme Rules. Just as he's sliding off the top of Ryback, we see Rollins hit a massive curb stomp on Orton. Raw goes off the air with a victorious Rollins standing over a defeated Orton holding his championship belt aloft. At least we know another match for the Extreme Rules though. It's Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I hope you all enjoyed this week's Raw review. If you did, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. Please leave a comment about wrestling in the comment section and please subscribe to my channel for more wrestling videos and gameplay videos. Click the screen in the centre for more wrestling reviews. Once again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the next video and until then, bye for now.